Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us virtually, and I hope you can gain and learn something helpful for yourself today. These series are intended to be for international students of all levels, from undergrad to PhD, interested in breaking into the space industry in the United States. For future events, we will be bringing in speakers from both aviation and space companies and agencies across different disciplines. If you haven't already, make sure to tune into our first conversations now on YouTube on the SAESAC GT channel. I'm so honored to introduce Ai Thai as our third guest. She's currently working for a startup called Job Aviation, as well as pursuing her master's degree here at Georgia Tech. Ai will share her thoughts and experience with us today about her educational and professional journey as an international airspace engineer representative. I hope our participants, as well as viewers, will find the session helpful and encouraging.
Hi everyone. Thank you for coming. On this sunny and cool day, very nice weather. My name is Ai, and I graduated from Georgia Tech with my bachelor degree in aerospace engineering last year, December, and I am working full time right now. I hope to share my story to help you guys get a better idea of what are the options out there that you can do, and also hope that you get some lesson learned from from my experience. I hope this will be 30 minutes, and then we will have time for questions later on. But if you want to ask any question in the middle of the presentation, that's fine, because we have a small audience today, and it will be also recorded. All right, so let's get started. And so when I put together this presentation, I was trying to picture myself back then. What would what would be the best advice that someone could give me back then? So I picture myself, and then I want to. This is my best guess at where you are right now based on my past experience, basically. And I would guess that you um, send in hundreds of job applications, but only really receive automated rejections, or worse, you don't even hear back from them. Or you go to all these conferences, talks, career fairs, trying to expand your network. However, nothing seems to work so far, and you are really confused, frustrated, and God forbid, losing hopes. Um, and then you trying to do your best to juggle between a lot of things, just like any other Georgia Tech students, like studying, networking, extracurricular activities, part-time job, you have any research job, socializing, and then maybe you take care of yourself. And so I wonder if you if someone can unmute themselves and let me know if this sounds like it resonates with them, that would be appreciated. Also, I cannot see the chat while I'm doing this, so minimize yourself. Okay. Yeah, Bluetooth is pretty new to me. Um,
Hi, yes, that is very similar story for me.
awesome. Thank you so much, Wyatt. Thank you. Um, and after talking to many international friends, also, I feel like this seems to be the common theme across everything. And let me assure you that I also have been there, for a couple years, but I am able to get a full-time job right now. So let me share the stories, and hopefully that will help you in your journey. So the story begins when I transferred to Georgia Tech. I studied at the community college, and then I transferred to Georgia Tech. My first year here, first of all, I realized that Georgia Tech is way more difficult than my community college. For example, I was taking 20 credits, no problems, but at Georgia Tech, taking 15 credits was already a lot. Homework there would take me maybe 2 hours every week, maybe 5 hours every week to do it, if it's a very difficult engineering class. But at Georgia Tech, it would probably take me 10 to 20 to 13 hours. And also being socially awkward, part of me is being international students, and also being a first generation. And actually, I was also screened for being having high functioning autism. So trying to figure out myself, trying to figure out how to socially connect with my peers was really a struggle for me. And on top of that, just really trying to follow all the advice that one may get, right? Like do networking, go to all these talks, go to do all these conferences, trying to talk to people, try to get as many mentors as you can, and work on application, work on resume, cover letters, etc. And on top of that, actually, is my first semester here, I got someone who is already a professional in her field, which is engineering field, and talked to a couple of PhD students in aerospace engineering. They told me that to be able to get a job as an aerospace engineering as an international student is really hard. So they strongly, strongly, advised me to change my major to like something more general. And really, when I thought about it, I felt like it didn't sit well with me. It didn't feel right to me. So eventually, I still picked aerospace engineering, and I make sure that I understand it and took on the responsibility to make it work for me. And along the way, there were lots of trials, and nothing seems to work so far at the end of my first year at Georgia Tech. And by then, I was really frustrated because, it feels like I've been trying, but I don't understand what is why is it that's not working? And really, what is it that I don't know? Because as I mentioned, I was also first generation to go to college in my family, and the first person in my extended family to pursue like a STEM degree kind of thing. So there was a lot of unknowns, which I didn't know that I didn't know back then. So I reached out a lot, and then one of my friends knew someone who knew someone who knew someone who worked at Vietnam Airlines in my country, and it's actually an engineering company also, which does maintenance, repair, and overhaul, which short is MRO. If you know about the aviation business, you will know this acronyms. And so I got in touch with her, and then it sounds like they will be able to arrange me with some kind of internship, unpaid internship, because they don't have an internship program in the company. So I felt like, it doesn't sound very great or exciting or anything like that. However, I knew that it was my really like only chance back then to really figure out what is it that I don't know. So I decided to take it. So I decided to take it and went to a city in Vietnam, but in the capital city where I didn't know anyone, didn't have a place to live, didn't have a means of transportation, and go to a company that no one knows me. Well, basically. So as you can tell, there's a lot of struggle in between, and the struggle just came mostly from I don't know what I'm doing there, and other people doesn't know who I am and what is it that I am doing there. Because for one, I didn't know what I was doing there, so I couldn't really explain to them what is it that I really want to learn. What is it that I want to learn? I mean, I could put it in general terms, but they were still very confused and all that. So through that struggle, after 3 months of that, luckily at the end of my 3 months internship, I was able to rotate to like 8 different departments in the whole MRO production line. So like all the business unit that has anything to do with engineering or producing maintenance, repair, and overhaul products. So after that, I learned a lot. It was my first internship ever, like my first experience in an engineering field. I learned a lot about MRO, obviously, and also I learned that learn a lot about being an engineer. And one of the things that I learned is to be a better engineer, you have to learn about how the product is made and why is it that it was made like that, so that you can design better parts in the future. and I took that lesson very very deeply, as in when I came back to Georgia Tech my first semester, I took on a part-time job at the aero maker space so that I can have more hands-on experience, learn about how things are made, how the machine makes things work, um, and just get more experience and also more money along the way, which is nice. And so after that, when I came back to Georgia Tech, through my network, I got referred to an interview for a co-op at Delta Airlines, and I because Delta is the biggest MRO organization in North America, it has always been my dream to be working there, and my passion and my enthusiasm really shows off during the interview, and also I try to get as much experience that I learned from my internship to ask really good questions to the interview so that they understand that, oh, you actually know something, it's like not knowing anything, not having a clue kind of thing. So I think that those give them really good impression. And then eventually after that, a couple weeks after that, I got the offer to co-op at Delta full time. All right. So that was like the end of my first or second chapter at Georgia Tech through my career path. After that, because I mentioned to you, my first year at Georgia Tech was all about trying to get myself an internship or a co-op. After I got my co-op at Delta, I actually felt a little lost. Like, I understand that I have to get a full-time job after this. However, I didn't know what else to do besides doing a really good job at whatever I was doing at Delta, expanding my network, keep studying hard. And it just really like, I don't know what is next, what else can I do to really learn more about myself, to improve myself as a whole. So I did a lot of things in this, like in between my co-ops, which is I did a lot of research. I did like 3 to 4 different type of research in CFD, controls, system engineering, optimizations, to really figure out which field do I want to get into. As people always advise you to do, it's like you have to know what you want to do. Okay, how do I do it? By doing research. So that's why I tried. I also attempted at a startup with a group of my friends to build like an eVTOL aircraft for the Go Fly competition, which was sponsored by Boeing. Eventually, that fell apart. And I also joined a lot of student organizations on campus, try to take on more leadership roles so that I improve my leadership skill, organizational skill, and teamwork skills. And along the way, just still trying to do well in my classes, keep a high GPA and all that. However, despite all that, I at the end of my third rotation at co-op, I actually tried to apply for more internship at other companies, or also a full-time job, trying to apply to full-time job in between. However, I got a lot of rejection actually, and I was really confused and don't understand why, because obviously I had good experience. I got a lot of like engineering experience, manufacturing experience, even project management experience from my co-op at Delta, because I tried to do a really good job so my responsibility just keep increasing. However, I still got rejected to even internship at other companies or full-time position when I finished my third rotation. It was hard to really understand why, because I have all these mentors, but no one really had like a first generation kind of experience to really tell you what is it that you're doing wrong, basically. And however, I keep searching for the answer. I keep on asking people. I asked my research advisor lots of questions, and I asked my mentor. And along the way, I also learned how to better communicate socially. Because I mentioned briefly earlier that I was screened for autism, high functioning autism. So that definitely doesn't help me with the case of learning about what is it that I got rejected, right? So I tried to improve myself on that, and then eventually I found out that the reason why I have not been getting accepted is because I didn't know what is it that they're looking for in me, and I still didn't know what I really want to do for my career. And I have to mention that my family does business and they manage their own business. So I growing up just doesn't understand what it feels like to work for someone else. So I just felt like, okay, so you just give me a job. I know the job description and I would try to do my best to do a good job at it. Of course, that didn't sell very well. And so they just felt like I didn't know what I was doing, and I just felt like I'm not a good fit for their organization or the job that they were posting. So these are the reasons I figured out why is it that I've been getting rejected. So I got lots of work to do, and so I tried to figure out myself. And for the last internship, which is my fourth rotation at Delta, I wanted to find a place that I would love to be returning for my full-time position, because I found that for my 3 rotations at the other department, and Delta doesn't shuffle co-ops around, at least as of last year. Maybe they do that now. So I didn't feel like I would fit in the environment very well. So I kept on shadowing other departments and just really try to see what they want to do. And through one of my contacts, he introduced me to sort of a manager at Delta for another engineering department, not in tech ops, in there's something called Delta Connection. So after talking to them, I really felt like what they are doing is pretty cool, very interesting. So I asked to go over there and shadow. It took a whole semester for that to happen, but be persistent, and that eventually happened. Is that eventually I get there and sorry, I get there for my shadowing. After spending a couple of hours with them, I felt like this is the environment, the exact environment that I want to be in. The kind of job that I really want to do is just very supportive, and the challenge is great. They trying to work with all these different stakeholders, and it is almost like an art to be able to navigate that. And also the engineering department is very small. It was like a small part of a whole division that is essentially an airline, but it's like a smaller scale of an airline. So you will be sitting with business counterparts, contracts, operation counterparts. Everyone is sitting in the same floor. I thought that was really cool. And I really definitely wanted to be able to be in a smaller organization. So anyway, I asked to come back there for my last rotation, and luckily for me, they were still looking for their co-op for the following summer, and they haven't found one yet. And they liked me through my couple of hours shadowing, or I should say interview there. So they helped me to get back there for my last internship for 2 months. And during my 2 months there, I felt like the work I was doing is really cool. It's something that I can improve upon, that I can make an impact. And they were also wanted to do something called predictive maintenance, which means you use data to really be able to improve your maintenance process, be able to predict before a component or a part fails, so that you can schedule repair for that part in the normal schedule maintenance, so that you don't have to do like non-routine maintenance, which if worse, it can ground the airplane, and that means a lot of money lost for the airlines. And if you know the airlines business, grounding an airplane is like the worst thing that an airline wants to hear about, because if the airplane is not flying, it's not carrying customer, it's not making revenue, basically. So um, so that was something that they really want to do in the future. And that also was something that I'm really interested in, because I really was intrigued by the intersection between engineering and data analytics, to be able to get data and get insight from them so that you can do a better job at engineering. So I was really like that. And so I was trying to figure out how can I return as a full-time employee. And the fact was they didn't have any full-time position open, and they historically never hired anyone fresh out of college in their engineering department. Uh, they only hire like people with 3 to 5 years of experience. So it was really hard, basically. And after I found out about that, of course, it was not told to me in the beginning. I thought it was budget issue or something like that. But after I found out that that was the reason, I presented my case. I mean, I will be fresh out of college, but I'm very interested into doing this, and I will be getting my online master in data analytics. So they thought, first of all, that was a good skill match. And second of all, after I worked there for 2 months, I really fit in with the team, and I got the work ethic that the manager was looking for. And I just fit in well with not just the team, but the rest of the division that everyone was sitting on the same floor. So my manager thought that he really wanted to bring me back. So at the end of my internship, we decided that let's try to bring me back, kind of thing. And but it still took them a whole semester to put together that, in a way that they have to ask their manager and then manager has to ask the directing the general manager, and then the director and managing director, and then the senior vice president has to approve it. Everyone has to approve it for me to come back. And then it took them a whole semester to just negotiating, putting together the job description, and then giving me the offer, negotiating, and then finally accepting the offer. I think I got the offer like the final, like during finals week or something like that. It was amazing. It was a lot of hard work. Like I had to follow up every month. No, actually every other week. Sometimes I just don't even have anything to talk about, but I knew that I have to keep following up, and I even met up with them for lunch one time. So that I wanted to tell this story because I felt that it was really important that you stand up for yourself, be your own best advocate, and stand up for your chance to be able to get the job that you love and you deserve. So I hope that that story was makes sense. And so to close out from this journey of getting the first full-time job and move on to the next one, which actually happened during COVID on March 13th, 1 month and a half after I started my first full-time job. COVID hit the US, and my manager told me that Delta will follow all of their contractors. And I was a contractor because as an international student, I couldn't come back to Delta as a full-time employee. So I was one of them, and really there was nothing I can do about it. So I got furloughed on after 1 month and a half working there at my hard-earned job. And needless to say, it was very, very devastated. However, this is also the period where I learned about resilience, or what you do when all your plans are thrown out the window. Um, it was, like, it was hard, but in a good way this period, because I was not so busy working all the time. I mean, I was still taking classes um, for 2 classes, and then over the summer I still took 2 classes so that I make sure I make progress in my degree. But because I had more free time than usual, so I actually got more time to learn more about myself. And I touched a little bit on learning about myself early on in the rejection slide, but there was definitely still more to learn about. It's almost like a lifelong journey. So during this period, I read a lot. I got a life coach. I got a therapist, and I was also in a relationship. But what I really learned after this period is to be more confident about who I am, about the values that I can deliver to an organization, and just be more confident, because that is something that I always lack of. I'm a big self-doubt kind of person. So after this period, I mean, it was very life-changing. I had a very good friend who always constantly giving me the most honest feedback. I have a life coach who was steering me in the right direction, basically. And coming out of it is I feel like a brand new person right now, which is who I am right now. And at the end of it, I know that this is a little bit vague. If you want me to elaborate more on it, feel free to ask question later on. However, at the end of this period, I think it was like 3 to 4 months of not having a job. And when the economy is opening up again, I got new offers. I got offers from companies that were like ready to move on after they freeze hiring. So I got offer from engineering management position at UPS, and then Joby Aviation, which is the company that I am working for right now. I got an offer to become an intern in the data analytics team, and I like the Joby Aviation offer more because I felt like it was still giving me the chance to be on the path that I wanted to go, which is the intersection between engineering and data analytics. So I took that offer, and 3 months later, yesterday, I got my full-time offer to essentially continue my current responsibility, but as a full-time employee yesterday. And it's just like almost coming in full circle. All these efforts you try so hard for your whole career, and right now you see the fruition of it, and it's just very exciting journey ahead of me. So after I share all this, I hope that these are the things that I hope you can take away from. First of all is be your best advocate. Like I said, stand up for your own chance to get a job that you love and you deserve, and that including reaching out to know what is it that you really want to do, what is it that you'll be happy of, and then reaching out to learn what are the skills that you want to learn so that you can get that job that you want. And also following up so that you make sure that you get the job that you want. Learn about who you are and be genuinely who you are at work and in life, which is I think I talk a lot about on that point. And so and then throughout the whole presentation, I hope that you also learn that another advice that I have is be open-minded, be hungry for knowledge, for advice, for achievement, for confidence. Be persistent in whatever you are pursuing, and be very persistent, stand up for yourself. And then the last thing is, I know that my journey was very unique to me because of all the challenges that I have to go through, and because of the choice of career that I made. I didn't want to do a PhD, And I also didn't want to do, I mean, I did some research because I wanted to learn more about the field, but I felt like I really want to get some work experience, like practical experience, instead of getting a PhD. And I also figured out from the beginning I have to be in MRO because as an international student and because of the lack of engineering experience that I have, that will be the best way for me to go. So that's and what I talked about so far is how I have put them together. So I want to say that there are millions of ways to get there, and the exciting thing is you get to craft your own. Hopefully, after this presentation, you understand what are all the ways that you can do. What are all the ways that you can follow to get there, and also get some pieces of advice that you can use for your own journey. Um, so that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, I will be happy to take them. Oh, I see. Thank you for answering my question there. I couldn't see the chat earlier. Mm, does anyone has any question for me so far?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
And can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for your presentation. I think that was really helpful. And then I really appreciate your time for today. So, my question is here. So you mentioned that COVID-19 really impact on your job at the Delta, and then finally, but congratulations on your new job offer. But I was able to kind of understand what you were feeling because I was supposed also to work at American Airlines last summer, but it was canceled due to the COVID-19.
Mm.
So, but given that the COVID-19 is still in here in the United States, do you think that how about the especially for the aviation industry, how about the job opening is affected by COVID-19 in these days?
Yeah, I think that is a very relevant question to this time right now. Thank you for asking. I think that definitely the aviation industry is deeply impacted by it because travel is decreasing. Airlines definitely are not hiring more, if not laying off people, which is a very sad thing. However, and also I read articles, right? It's probably Airbus and Boeing also slow down their production. Um, so it might take them 3 to 5 years to recover to the normal pace of production they have before COVID. And I know that Gulfstream was also laying off people, so it's like the business kind of sector right there. But I know that defense and space, especially SpaceX, but if that on does not really apply if we are international student and doesn't have at least a green card, but they hire a lot, and also definitely eVTOL industry sector. I mean, because Joby Aviation, I think Joby Aviation is like the leader in that sector, and they are still growing strong through COVID. I would
Mm,
imagine all the companies who does eVTOL is also trying to hire people right now.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And another and the last question for you. You mentioned that you are right now working on kind of data analytics teams.
Hmm.
Could you please tell us a little bit more about your job responsibility, especially focusing on the data analytics for what?
Yeah, that's great. I am in the data analytics team. I'm actually a data analyst. That's like my official title, which I think is very fortunate to have. But I work with data to get more insights out of data, whether that be using machine learning techniques or data analytics techniques, or also a lot of time because of my background in aerospace engineering, they just pull me to support flight tests. It's like uh,
Uh-huh.
whatever like the engineering or the pilots want to do, they don't know what it is it that they're looking for in the data. I will be like kind of the middle person to translate whatever they want into data, analyze data, and then show them the result kind of thing.
Mm,
So and I'm like also trying to communicate with the rest of the company to bring more projects to the data and analytics team. And I think that these are not very conventional at all because I was basically volunteering for those jobs. I felt like it was a hole that we need to fill and no one really wanted to do it. So I volunteered for it. Oh,
mm.
and it was a good thing because eventually I got a full-time job out of it. Yeah, that's and so my responsibility revolves around working with data, working with
Mm,
all the stakeholders around the company. I hope
mm.
that answered
Yeah,
what you really want. Okay,
that's a great answer. Thank you.
I'm glad and thank you for coming.
Mm,
One another thing that I wanted to ask is regarding the question, which is how do I present myself? I have always been the kind of person who would ask questions a lot, and I will make sure that they are good questions, and meaning they are well thought out questions. I did not ask just because I wanted to make an impression or something like that, and so I make sure that they are good questions and being very professional, and also speak out for yourself. Yes, that is actually another one advice that I want to give to all the women in STEM and women of color is speak out for yourself because it is known that women usually doesn't ask for what they deserve, and if you don't do that and you are not given it, sometimes it just leave a lot of agony inside of you. It's like I was being nice, but I am not being rewarded for being nice. And there's actually a term for it. It's called compassion, duty, or evil. It was from one of the book that I read. Essentially, if you don't ask for what you want, people don't know, and people will not give you. So if you want something, speak up, ask for it. Whether it be asked to be listened in a meeting, or ask for a raise or negotiate your salary, make sure that your voice is heard, and just make the best out of it. So I think that's one piece of advice that I got for everyone who's a woman out there. And in closing thoughts, I think that there is a million ways, like I said, to get there. And I hope that you get to grab your own, being hungry, reaching out for more advice, and listen to people. Also, listen to yourself and really create something that will make you happy. That is all I have.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think that that's really inspirational and really powerful. And hopefully everybody that was here, as well as people that watch this recording after, really gain something from your journey. So, yeah, thank you so much for being here and taking the time on a weekend.
Thank you, you guys too. And I let me know if you feel free to share my email also if anyone has any other questions going on. And just have a good rest of your weekend, guys.
Thank you.